Hi, this is Kelly Culligan Pangman. I want to tell you a little story about me being married. I met my husband in a Pizza Hut. I was a waitress, and he came in with his rugby team, and it was love at first sight. Um, he was going to come back and see me, and he didn't, so that's okay. 2 weeks later, I ran into him 45 miles away in a different city in a different place. So that's kind of fate, right? So that was April. January, we got married 37 years ago. We have three fantastic children who are now all in their mid 30s, and we have one grandbaby. Kevin is my full support system. I've wavered, I've fallen down, he's picked me up. Another thing about Kevin is he's 10 years older than I am. That actually has always been something that we've laughed about, coming from two totally different generations. It's been something interesting. Now that we're 55 and 65, we are seeing that we have some things to discuss. It's nice because we're older and not quite as bullheaded. We're both type A people. And we do talk more than we did. So we have a lot going on in our marriage that's different. We have to have some more conversation about going places, doing things, being active, being not active. But let me back up a little bit. Our marriage was a whirlwind with the kids. I mentioned in my first video that we spent time at our camp during the summer times. When Kevin and I got married, the camp is only 45 minutes away. So it was an understanding that as soon as we had children, I would be spending my summers also at camp with our children. And sure enough, I did for the first about 8 to 10 years. Off I went pretty much for the whole summer, because that is the place to raise your kids. No TV, no running hot water, no shower. You just live there for the summer. It's fantastic. And our kids loved it. As soon as sports kind of come into play and schedules start to come into play, that time starts to get cut back. So over the summers, our time got cut back a little bit more. No telephone either. So, there was no communication. So when I say, we've spoken, we really have. We would go down and use the payphone. Remember payphones? And it was, you would reverse the charges. So we had ways of communicating. So we did that. As soon as the schedule started, I want to bring up schedules because those sometimes take a life of their own if your kids are involved. And I made our kids be involved. You can't make them play a sport. You can't make them do something they don't want to do. I understand that. But our kids liked sports, so they played a sport. But I did make them participate in something at school. They had to pick a club or an activity. I didn't care what it was. That was a requirement of the house. They had to do something. Or a volunteer. I didn't care what it was. They could volunteer somewhere. They could do whatever they wanted to do, but they had to do something. So they were in scouts. They had church school. They were in a club at school of their choice. And then they had a sport. They did want to play a sport. So picture the scheduling with three kids, all basically the same age, all within 3 years of each other. So it became a slightly chaotic house. Let me put it that way. We handled it pretty gracefully, and I use that term a lot. I use that term a lot when I do coaching and talk to people. None of us are perfect. Oh, please. I hope nobody thinks that they can handle it perfectly. We left one child behind one time at a ball field. Yep. 2 adults, 3 kids, 2 cars. We got home. 2 adults, 2 cars, 2 kids. We have 3 children. There was only 2 people at the table. Yep. So back to the field. Kevin went, and Kyle was there. We lived in a small town, small community. Yeah, I'm not sure Kyle laughs about it. I think he does now. He was with friends. I We'll leave that one alone. Anyway, he was eating. He was happy with friends. You know what? You do it as gracefully as you can. We had a great life. Kevin's my support system. I love him. I hope I tell him enough. I hope he knows that. I think he does. We are all in 2018. You hear all that ancestry thing. I believe that we are our own tree trunks first, and then you can find your branches. Kevin's my tree trunk. He is. I'm grateful. I am my own tree trunk first, too. I'm strong. But I'm stronger because I know I have Kevin. Can you hear me? I am good. I am good me, but I have Kevin, and I'm so fortunate because he's made me who I am as well. Together, I know I'm stronger. But he has helped me grow to who I am. When you start off with someone when you're 19, are you kidding? Look at a 19-year-old. I can't believe what I see. I can't believe what I did when I was 19. But that's part of me. That's who it was. That's what I did. I loved it. I wouldn't change a thing. So that's a little bit more about me and Kevin and our kids. So we did it gracefully, the best we could. I'm proud of us.